couple weeks ago, I had heard people were talking on a podcast. It was actually probably a couple months ago, but they were talking about sensory deprivation chambers. Have you guys ever heard of those?
Yeah.
No. I just listened to an episode of the R2 podcast,
Well, they were
talking about that.
sensory
But I think it was from like episode 60. I just went back and started listening to the earlier ones, and they just talked about it. That's weird.
Oh, but
what are they? Do you want to explain it?
Sensory deprivation chamber.
Yeah.
So basically, how I understand it is it's basically this pod that has like maybe an inch or two of water in it, and what you do is you go into it, you sit down, and they close the hatch or whatever, and it's just like complete silence, and it's pitch black, and your mind is supposed to like project, like if you sit alone in silence for long enough time, like your mind just starts projecting things for you to see. So it's not like, because I don't know, it's hard to explain.
It's in the name. It's sensory deprivation, so it deprives you of all of your senses. I mean, the primary ones being, I guess, sight and sound, and they try to deprive you of touch and stuff too.
Wait, but you're sitting in water, right?
I hadn't heard the water. Like I've heard that you're kind of in this. It's just this pitch black room where they try to just deprive you of every kind of sensation, so that really you are the one force in that room that you can project things off of. Because I mean, when you're in a room like we are, I mean, we have lights on and we have all these colorful things and posters on the wall. We have all these objects and just things that our senses latch onto, and that's where our mind goes and where, how we develop what we're thinking about and stuff like that. I mean, same with like food and smells and sounds as well, but they put you in this room where you don't have anything, and it's like after a while, it's your mind kind of, it has to, I guess, do something. So
make its own projection.
So I've never done it, so I don't know what it's like.
Is it like a place where you can go and just do it, like you pay the money? And
I think the one that I heard, because I got the topic kind of off of the Rooster Teeth podcast, and they said it was like $200 or $300 or something.
For how long?
I don't know.
And we can make our own. It's just a black room, right?
It's Daredevil's bed in Daredevil.
Yeah. It got me thinking that what do you think if you guys were in a sensory deprivation chamber? What do you think your mind would, how do you think you would react in a sensory deprivation chamber?
I would freak out. Probably. I don't think I'd like it.
Well, it's kind of like that silent room where you go in and it's like
negative decibels.
Yeah, the decibels are like way below what the human is used to, and you can hear your own bodily fluids.
You can hear the blood coursing through.
I think the record of staying in there is only maybe half an hour.
I actually don't know.
They lose it.
I actually don't know if that's true. I think that's a myth. Actually,
I would.
I would probably fall asleep. If I was in a sensory deprivation chamber,
I don't think I could. I'd probably hear the ringing in my ears, and then hear my stomach and then my heart blah 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 blah.
I don't think I'd want to try it.
Really?
No, I'd like it.
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It's really hard to think where that would go, just because we wouldn't know without doing it. We should make one.
That'd be so hard too.
And my dad just built a shed in the backyard. You guys want to go?
A soundproof room with just dark.
Well, it'd need a lot of things, because it'd need to be temperature controlled as well. You can't have a room that's too cold or too hot, because then your touch is too affected.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to be 70 degrees or 75 degrees, just kind of room temperature, and then. What's the best way for your body to would you be totally prostrate, or would you be sitting up somehow? Where would your legs be? Like, what would be the best position so that you aren't feeling that you're sitting down in a chair or something? Because then that's something that you can go off of.
Laying down would be the best. That's what I think.
I feel like you'd have to be almost, though, like laying down, but at like a 60-degree angle or something, just like not quite totally
Hanging
flat.
upside down by your ankles.
All the blood rushed to your head.
Eventually, you wouldn't know. Like, am I upside down?
Well, to see, and that's why I think you have to be in a position that you can't absolutely know where, like, that you're the exact angle that you're used to something. Because if you're laying down, it's something you're used to. But if you're standing up, it's something you're used to. If you're sitting in a chair, you're used to that. So I think if you're at like a 60-degree angle, you'll get to a point where you like it'll feel unnatural enough that it's not something you're used to for feeling, I guess. And so you kind of it's something that you can put out of your mind, if that makes any sense.
So they make it where you can't hear yourself talk then too?
Well, I think you just have to not talk.
Okay, because I feel like I get in there and just be like, okay, it's okay later, it's okay.
Even if you talk, it would sound completely different.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be sound... Because the room would absorb the sound. You wouldn't have anything to bounce off.
I feel like I'd start hallucinating a killer clown in the corner.
You wouldn't be able to
I honestly think I would start hallucinating and like hearing things.
Yeah.
Just to... And like...
That could happen.
I think that would drive me nuts. Like, I feel like it would just...
Jesse would be the most to put into a sensory deprivation room and then have like a night vision camera in the corner to see what Jesse's doing. He would be like twitching and like crying and then like laughing and then like he'd go through the whole range of emotions in probably like 30 seconds.
He'd be like eating
the
foam, like, I need sound.
Breaking the room.
He's like he's clawing his eyes out of his head and stuff.
I don't need these anymore. I don't need my my mind is all I need.
The interesting thing with me though is like I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I feel like being locked in a sensory deprivation room would just like cause my anxiety to go through the roof.
Do you think? But you don't think it would do the
I
opposite?
feel like it'd make you have to deal with it, really.
Because maybe you'd freak out for a while, but I mean, you'd realize that there's
really nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's like it's just me. There's nothing else. I feel like that would, at least to me, maybe be more calming. I don't deal with being very anxious though, or I don't know if depression would fit into sensory deprivation as much as being anxious would, but I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where we would have access to even do something like that here.
Have you guys ever like been asleep, but then you're awake, but you can't move your body?
Oh my god, I do that all the time.
For some reason, I feel like it'd be like that.
That's called sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Well, that's the conversation. We've had this conversation before. Actually, the four of us, the original
but not
four.
on the podcast.
So
Yeah. Well, okay. That's something that still really fascinates me. Yeah. Sleep paralysis. Someone who's actually had sleep paralysis should probably explain it better. Maybe like Jesse.
So basically, what sleep paralysis is your eyes. You're laying down completely asleep, and your eyes pop open, but you can't like.
And a demon
You
farts.
can't.
But then you realize it's your breath.
Your eyes pop open, and you go to like move, but you can't. You don't have movement of your extremities or your neck, like of your
You can't move anything.
external extremities, like your arms and legs.
Like
you can't
your
move those,
internal
and you can't. You
My
can't.
liver is wiggling.
I have full control of my liver.
You can't. Yeah, you can't move anything but your eyes. You can't make a noise. You can't make noises. You can't talk. You can't do anything. And a lot of people hear or talk about going through things like that and seeing like demons or just like you
A presence in
Well, yeah,
the room.
like
You
a big
go
thing
through-
is like you feel like there's a person in the corner
Yeah.
of the room and you can't look or like
or like
I
there's
can't
a big
look away from
weight
it most
on
of the
your
time.
chest, as if someone's sitting on you.
Am I the only one that's ever dealt with sleep
Ben.
paralysis?
Yeah,
before?
I did. Remember?
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I said
that.
there was something standing at the edge of my bed, and I saw it.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that's pretty bad.
there was, I've dealt with it a lot because it's tied to, for me, it's tied to my anxiety and like if I don't get enough sleep the night
lack of
before,
sleep
it's lack of sleep.
Is a big one.
But I remember distinctively going through sleep paralysis one night, and I started like hyperventilating and freaking out on the inside. Like I was having a conversation with myself in my head, and I'm laying there watching the edge of my bed. It's pitch black. There's no noises or anything, and I see this little person or like demon thing or whatever climb up on top of
That's your guardian
over my bed, and it like did a spider crawl thing like over my body, and it just said, "You can't do anything about this. You can't." Like, there's. It was.
Dave, you need to stop
Honestly.
sneaking into Jesse's room.
Spend the night. You gotta be.
It was honestly one of the scariest things I've ever.
One of them.
Well, and the problem
My
is,
entire
since
life.
you're sleep paralyzed, you can't do anything about it. You can't scream. You can't move. You're just. If I had sleep paralysis, I don't think I'd ever be able to go to sleep again. I'd be terrified to go to bed,
Have you ever tried
which
to-
would just cause it more because sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation causes this. Oh my gosh!
Have you ever tried to will yourself out of it? Like, have you tried to like make yourself move?
But then you just pop a blood vessel in your eye.
It's
No, it's just like you just kind of like shake and on the
Trying
inside,
to
and
move-
You will yourself to get up. I guess.
trying to move. You can't, like. There's been times where like I'm laying there and I can't move, and I start to like freak out, and I start to like.
Yeah.
You have to really try
Yeah, that's
to
what I do.
move your arms.
Well, do you
and
know
legs
why-
and stuff
Oh,
like that.
it's like almost like willing yourself.
Do you know why that is?
I think it's because the whatever thing is inside you making your body. It
It-
comes in. You're trying to make it go away at least. Or
Well,
something.
it's the stage of sleep you're in. This
Your REM
happens in the
cycle.
fifth stage of sleep when you're in REM sleep. But
Yeah.
there's basically like this glitch in the system where your eyes, for some reason, are activated. But your brain, you're still sleeping technically. So you see things and you have these creepy hallucinations, but you're technically sleeping. And in that fifth stage of sleep, you can't move your body. So when you move in your sleep, you're not in that fifth stage. And the way the stages go in sleeping is, you start at 1 and you go to 5, and then while you sleep, you kind of you dip back and forth, 5, 4, 3, I think 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, and then when you wake up, you're
go
back
back
at
down,
1,
yeah.
and you can wake up in some of the other stages. And that's why some people are kind of restless or upset when they wake up. My mom can be like that. Brianna can be like that. And it's because you wake up during a stage of sleep where you're not supposed to be, or where you're not supposed to wake up. And so in stage 5, in that stage, you can't move. You physically can't move. But for some reason, your eyes can move. So you're technically sleeping, you're dreaming, most likely, but you
I think
can't
that's where the
move. And so,
hallucinations come from.
yeah, and so what's happening is when you're trying to get out of it, you're basically trying to jilt yourself out of that stage of sleep so that you can move and basically either wake up or just get into a different stage of sleep, which is just really weird. So, because for the most part, when you're in stage 5, you should be like smooth sailing. That's supposed to be when you're sleeping well. It takes like 90 minutes to get there, I think.
Yeah.
But that should be the smooth sailing part. If that's the part where you're dealing with sleep paralysis, that's terrifying.
farts.
Oh, man. Well, after we watched, was it Crimson Peak, which
Yeah.
Oh my god!
which didn't deal with sleep paralysis, but it dealt with ghosts and sleeping and some stuff, and so that spawned us talking
More like
about
drug
that
induced
conversation.
sleep.
Yeah, and And
Didn't we talk about it before though, or was that after? I thought it was before.
it was either
Before,
I think
like, it was
it may
the
have
day
been
of.
before we saw it, because I think we had talked about it, which made us want to go see the movie.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was going to be a horror movie, but it
It
turned
wasn't
out
a horror movie.
not.
That was definitely
Yeah. An incest romance. With
That was
But sleep paralysis, since I had heard about it years and years and years ago, had always really fascinated me. They talked about it in one of my psychology classes, and it was this really fascinating thing because it wasn't something I had experienced, but it sounded terrifying, and it's a living nightmare, basically. I mean, you see a lot of horror movies and you think, that can't happen. But then you see the movies where you have people you see things in your sleep, and it's like, okay, that's just absolutely terrifying. And so it's something that I talked to some of you guys in the past about, but maybe trying to shoot some sort of
we
short
talked about it.
about having sleep paralysis be kind of the main kind of the premise behind it. That
I
it's
thought
this.
of another idea, like where the guy thinks we went on the topic of the guy think he was married or something like that.
Mhm.
Like, what if the guy was only married when he woke up during sleep paralysis, and that's when his wife would be there?
Inception.
Yeah, something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. But anyway,
Yeah.
I just want to talk about like mental disorders, I guess. Just one that I've been thinking about.
You wanna talk about yourself,
really
huh, Ben?
quick,
Yeah.
really quick though, Jesse. Since we saw Crimson Peak, have you had sleep paralysis since then?
Mm-hmm.
Like how often do you?
It's not really.
It just depends on, like, for me, it's got like the sleep deprivation thing plays a huge like a 95% factor into it. But a lot of times when I go through like and have anxiety attacks and things, that can also trigger it sometimes. But honestly, like that, the one time I saw the creature, I don't know what to call it,
Spider demon.
but that was hands down the worst thing.
Worse than
ever.
like the white creepy guy that like the pale guy that you drew a picture of.
That was
was the
Oh, that's the same one?
That was
Oh, never mind.
But
The way you explain it this time now, I thought of something much smaller.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the thing you talked about and drew was like, yeah,
Super.
I'd try to pee my pants, but since I would, paralyzed, I wouldn't be able to. That would wake me up.
I think honestly, if you were to experience sleep paralysis just one time in your life, I think you would have a totally different perspective on it.
Well, I definitely would, but I don't want to.
Is it
Because
something?
I'm terrified of it not having it.
Yeah.
I would probably be like way more terrified if I have it because I'd be freaked out that it would happen again. Ugh.
Is it-
happens all the time.
Is it something that can it happen to Dave? Is it a possibility, or since he hasn't ever had it before?
I think it's a possibility with anybody. I think it just depends on your sleep
It's
deprivation.
more
mostly.
likely to happen. Let's see. It's more likely to happen when you sleep on your back. I had read that.
Oh, I never sleep on
I
that.
sleep on my side.
It's more likely to happen when you're sleep deprived, and there's some other factors like your diet can affect it too. But I mean, it can happen to anyone really. It's just more likely to happen to some people, and it's one thing I'd read too is it's much more common in younger people. So ages like 5 to 15 or something.
Speaking of that, I remember the very first time I ever had sleep paralysis. I was asleep actually in this house, and I've lived here for like 15, almost 15 years. And it was probably like a year or two of us living here for the first time. And I fell asleep on the couch, and I had woken up, and my eyes were awake. I could see what was on the TV, and this guy, some guy, opened my sliding glass door. If you've ever been in my kitchen, you know where it's at. he slides open the door, and he runs in, and he takes the TV tray that was sitting in front of the couch, and he runs away. And I got up from it. I know how ridiculous it sounds.
It's just not ridiculous. It'd just be the funniest thing in the world if it actually happened.
Well, I was like 10 or 11 at the time.
Like you're eating food on it. This guy's busting. I don't know. It's funny.
But so this guy runs away, and I snap out of the sleep paralysis, and like I go to like walk and like run to tell my parents about it, and like I walk to the kitchen door, or that like doorway or whatever, and like I slowly walk past it because I wasn't sure if the dude left or whatever, and I ran to my parents' room, and I tore the door open, and the first thing I said to my dad was, "I think somebody tried to steal our TV tray." And my dad just rips his covers off and like in his boxers just runs out to the living room and like turns on all the lights. He's like,
"Dang it, Jesse.
You're fine, don't worry about it." And he just goes back to bed.
Then he beat me the next morning.
All right. So the mental thing I was going to talk about.
Sorry.
Okay. Some people actually think that like they have an arm, but they don't think it should be there.
Oh,
Have you heard about that?
I've heard of that.
Like phantom limbs or like anti-phantom limbs?
I don't know. Like they just think their arm shouldn't be there. Like they don't want it there.
So they like get it removed?
No, they want to cut it off.
Yeah.
Themselves. So.
Oh.
Do you think that's crazier, or do you think it's crazier when someone loses a limb, but they can still feel it? Like you can still feel the fingers, but they're just not there. That's called phantom limb.
Can they feel like they can move them?
Phantom
Do they
limb.
feel like they can move them?
Yeah, like
Oh.
you feel like you can move it, and you feel like you have control of it, but it's not there. That would
Is
be.
that with everybody, or is that just with some people that lose
That's-
limbs?
I think it's just. I think it's just some people. I think it's people who had that limb to start with. So I think if you were born without an arm, you wouldn't experience that. But if, say, you lose it in an industrial accident or a war or something, you can still
Well, I guess
like
it's
feel
all,
like you're moving your fingers and
it's
stuff.
all
Like,
kind of in your brain. You know?
yeah. I mean, it's. But one's kind of the opposite though, where it's
Yeah.
like you feel like you shouldn't have, and like you just like. Those are the kind of people that are
Crazy.
a little like mentally insane, and so like I could see like gnawing their like I shouldn't have my
appendage
right
off or
arm
whatever.
below the elbow, and
Yeah.
they're like biting it off.
Those are the people that keep out at Eastern, man.
They keep out of
Mental,
East.
mental state
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah, this is another one I heard of where people who are close to them, they think they're an imposter. There was one lady who actually said that she had 89 husbands, and they were all different.
What?
Yeah. Around
That's
there.
crazy.
Around 89. And that's what was recorded, and that's what she thought she had. Because she thought they were all...
That's probably a Twilight Zone episode too. Like,
Yeah,
like
I
thinking
feel like
someone
it could be,
is. That probably is. I wish I knew that better.
Have you? I'm not sure if this actually is a real disorder. I'm pretty sure it is. I got it off. I found it in a video game, but I think I looked into it, and it's actually a real disorder. Is everybody looks the same to you? All the faces. Everybody looks exactly. They actually, I think, just made a movie about it too. That's like a claymation, stop motion picture.
Yeah, that's real. I had heard about that, and I had learned about that in my psychology class.
Yeah, and everybody's face. You don't see faces really. Everybody just looks the same. Wouldn't that be kind of terrifying?
Well, it'd be really hard to recognize people and stuff. Because that's one thing that humans they really gravitate towards is the idea of a face, and that's why we see faces and things really easily, even just like really mundane things. Even from a young age, babies recognize faces really well. So that's why they're not usually staring at your elbow or your knee. They're looking at people's faces, and we as humans have this connection towards a face, and so it'd be really weird to not kind of, I guess, recognize that pattern, of the symmetry of a face, and kind of seeing that as our prime inlet into human beings, and that'd be weird, and just it'd be really hard to communicate with people because you wouldn't know who you're talking to. You'd have to go off of other kind of things and then other sort of, I guess, labels.
What if everybody sounded the same, too? What if everybody looked and sounded the same?
Wait, don't we?
Yeah.
Dave, no.
Ben?
How do you
Ben?
see-
Ben? I'm just in a room full of Bens. You're Ben!
No, you're Ben.
No, you're Ben! I don't know if they use that as a compliment.
No, I think
or
it's like
if it's an insult.
Like you have cooties. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of
Ew, you're Ben.
Yeah.
Gross.
I think that's more what it is.
Did you all see the new Suicide Squad trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks
It
cool.
looks good.
I like the song.
I know, it's like the first trailer was good, but I liked that they had a more lighthearted, dark tone to the second trailer.
How many trailers are
A
out right
light-hearted dark tone?
Dark
right
humor,
now.
I guess, maybe more.
now?
But it was humorous, but there was still a dark tone to the movie, and I hope that's what they kind of do with the movie. But it made me really excited for the movie.
When is that one? August?
August, yeah.
Deadpool comes out first.
When Deadpool is Valentine's Day, isn't it?
No,
Or February?
Deadpool is February 12th,
Okay.
which I think is a Tuesday.
All movies, I thought came out on like Friday.
A lot of them come out on Fridays. But, I mean, that's
I don't
kind of
know.
like video
I mean,
games, too. A lot of those are
Oh,
Tuesday releases.
I'll see Deadpool, but I'm not overly.
I'm kind of on the fence
Excited
about it,
about it.
honestly.
It's
Like,
either gonna. It's either
I thought
gonna
you
be
were obsessed
good
with Deadpool.
or it's
I like
gonna-
I like Deadpool a lot.
fist pump in the air. Deadpool's coming up first.
Well, okay.
It's up in the
Oh, God.
I'm-
Stupid.
Wait, Jonah likes it?
I'm excited about Deadpool coming out because I like Deadpool, but and I honestly hope that it compares to the comics pretty well. But I watched a video on YouTube last week about some people that had seen it, and they said that like the humor's pretty good, but like they take the humor too far in a lot of situations, and I'm kind of curious.
Did they
what
really see it?
They have,
they did, like a pre-screening.
yeah. They were.
Pre-screening.
They claimed it was going to be like 10 minutes of the movie, but they
ended
actually
up
showed the
the
full
whole
movie.
That's cool.
But
And there's press
yeah,
screenings. I mean, they can only say so much, but
they had just said that they thought that a lot of the comedy was like over the top and like like I don't know how to explain it other than to be like explicit comedy. Like they take jokes too far, and so I'm not
Like
really-
not tastefully. So like I feel like some movies can be extremely. I guess would you say like offensive? Like I guess like a Tarantino movie you could find really offensive, but I feel like it's all really
It's all
done.
relative.
It's all done like in a way where it doesn't feel like it's how I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't it feel like it's well done. Where or maybe it sounds like Deadpool isn't the case. For that.
and for me, like I'll laugh at just about anything if it's funny, but like I'm because a lot of times people they're like what some people perceive as over the top as far as comedy goes could be somebody else's like really tame comedy. So I'm kind of curious to see whether or not me and this person that went and saw the film and like if our comedy levels are on the same level. Like I'm still super excited for it and I'm gonna go see it when it comes out obviously, but that's the only part of it that I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah.
But Civil War is going to be the coolest out of that movie, Deadpool, and
Batman versus
Suicide Squad. I didn't even include that movie.
I don't understand.
So do you think it's going to be pretty bad then, or
Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have, like... The thing is, I don't have very high expectations or hopes for the movie, so if I see it and it's not bad, then I'll be like, oh, it's a pretty good movie, I didn't hate it. So if there's one good thing about not having high hopes or expectations for that film, then I'll make Michael happy in those regards.
Are you going to see it in theaters?
I probably will, because you'll probably force me to go see it with you in theaters.
I don't understand why I would have to force you to go see Batman and Superman on screen.
I also do not think it looks very good.
Oh,
I hate Superman
I
for
do too.
starters.
I don't know why you hate Superman. Why
Is it Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
He's just too...
He doesn't... You can't empathize with him at all, because he's like invincible.
I don't get Superman at all. I understand the nostalgia, interesting to him as a relatable character for someone in this day and age.
And I feel like in real life, he'd like probably kill Batman in like 10 seconds.
Yes. He would just laser vision Batman's head, and his head would explode.
But Batman has all this armor and all this money to buy stuff.
But I'm curious to see how they go about that, because I think
Roll credits.
that it will...
There's going to be like a little confrontation.
I think it's going to be a big conflict with Superman, because at the end of Man of Steel, he just kills Zod, but I think
spoilers.
I think that's going to...
I haven't seen
Oh,
that.
you're a Superman hater, so no one cares.
Zod also deserved to die, so it... The other thing is, people pin the whole like death of Zod thing like, oh, it's so controversial, but it's like if someone got Hitler and then didn't kill Hitler, they're like, oh, we're gonna just... It's like, of course, if you get Hitler, you're gonna snap his neck to make sure that he doesn't murder another, batch of millions and millions and millions of people.
And that wasn't the first time Superman had killed in the movies. I think it's Superman...
In that universe it was, though, wasn't it?
Superman... Well, yeah, because it's the first movie.
But it happened at the end.
I think in
I'm sure he
Superman...
accidentally killed someone when he was
In
singing.
Superman 2... I think he pushes either Zod or one of his followers just down a cliff and without their powers, and he kills them.
No, I that's fine. I'm saying, but I don't think... Did people make that was such a big deal then? That he killed
when
somebody?
it came out, it was like a huge controversial thing. But I think it's going to play a big part into this film, because I think he's really going to struggle with, I can't ever let myself go that far again. Because I think it is an important part of the Superman character, but also it made sense for him to do that. Zod was crazy. He was going to kill every single person on Earth. He obviously wasn't going to stop no matter what. So, where are you going to put Zod?
In the grave.
They already used the Phantom Drive to send the rest of them back to the Phantom Zone. What are you going to do?
Well, see, I don't have a lot of... The problem is...
Throw Zod into the sun and becomes Nuclear Man? Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man.
Nuclear
Yeah, I don't
Man.
get about like
Nuclear
the
Man.
So the planet that Superman came from, so like, is it just heavier? Is it more gravity, or is there something else? Because
It's heavy, man.
well, because
Their sun on Krypton was a lot older than our sun.
It was a much
So our
denser sun,
Our sun
right?
is newer. It's a lot fresher, and that's why it interacts with Kryptonian cells more.
I guess I'm just wondering, because I feel like if Superman did come to Earth, he'd just be able to jump really high.
Well,
And
Well,
then he
that's
could
how
float
it...
around.
That's how...
But he wouldn't be able to like fly and control.
That's
it.
actually
Jump
how it-
buildings in a single bound.
That's actually how it initially started. Superman
Really?
didn't fly. He could jump really high.
Okay.
And that's what it was. And then that just kind of developed. I mean, that was back in the
So-
30s, though.
But
So-
as far as him like flying in circles, I don't really think that works. It
Well,
was
You mean
if
fly-
that's what you're
you
getting
mean
hung up on,
flying
is
around
okay.
the-
I believe the laser
You
vision.
mean flying around the Earth and reversing time thing?
not that.
Okay, I was gonna say that's stupid. I mean, that's I like Superman and
No,
all,
I'm
but that's
saying
just
like,
dumb.
like say like a human on nowadays, like on the moon, like you can jump a little bit higher and then you float down.
But it's totally different.
But that was fake. We all know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was all faked on the studio.
so,
Done in a soundstage in Burbank.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to go back to
Can't prove
this
No.
I think that I don't have context because I haven't killed someone. but
You talk to my brother.
I don't think that
What?
would be
I'm serious.
cause such a struggle in him as a character. I feel like they're really, if that's what they're doing, where they kind of make it that's his struggle is for this new movie is his approach to killing someone.
Play with Metal Gear Spin.
I feel like his takeaway from the end of Man of Steel wouldn't be, oh my goodness, I killed someone. How could I have I understand it was for good, but I took someone's life.
See that guy's neck?
I feel like his takeaway would be like, whew, save the world. Holy cow, that was a close one. And then and there's a struggle with that maybe I could have saved more people or something like that, but that his prime struggle would be that he killed someone. I feel like that's really just really adding to a drama that wouldn't be there. I mean, like I said, I haven't killed someone, so I don't know the implications and the thoughts and feelings behind taking someone's life.
I didn't really think about it much afterwards. So
it's just after the first few, you really just forget about it.
Realize it's a fake
So,
kill.
I agree with the more he'd be more upset about the more people he could have saved.
Yeah, and that seems more heroic to me than getting hung up on killing a mass murderer. Because really, I mean...
Well, and the whole theme in this new movie is seeing the consequences of what happened in the first movie. So that's going back to all the destruction that happened. And I think they will tie in his struggle with killing, because even in the trailers, there's a line that says... Superman to Batman, stay down. If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. So he obviously, I think, overcomes that eventually and kind of controls that I'm not going to kill again. And so I think...
But why not? Why wouldn't he kill again?
Why would he?
Good. Solves problems really quickly.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's not his character.
Remember, he's not a human.
That's why I don't like Superman. That's why I don't like Superman.
So you want all your superheroes just to kill people?
No, that's
Jessica
not.
Jones,
that's
Jessica
not what I'm
Jones.
saying. I'm saying for the sake of because of that aspect with how powerful Superman is, and just the I guess not the theme of them, but the way the first movie felt. It seems like it wouldn't be a leap that if he needs to kill somebody, then he would. I mean, he's not just, oh, there's a bank robber, bam, dead, He's like, but Zod, okay, he needs to die.
Well, and I agree with
Zod
that.
killed it, I know who.
I mean, I'm not against that
He
did that, but I think that character...
He threw his dad into a tornado.
I think that character is going to struggle with that.
And I think that's an invalid struggle. That's what I'm saying. That's not an interesting struggle to me, because I think it's too reaching, and that's what I'm saying. It's one reason I'm not interested in the movie, because if that's one of the struggles that he's given, that's not something that I feel like is a good struggle for that character that makes a compelling story.
Yeah, I feel like
so that's
me,
why.
As myself, seeing the Man of Steel, I cared more about the people dying than Zod dying.
Yeah, I didn't think at all about Zod dying until after seeing the movie, and people were upset about it, and I was like, what? I didn't give it a second thought. My thought was, whew, good, okay, that guy's taken care of. I wonder who the villain's going to be in the next movie. That's really was
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, that's not who I was thinking.
Wait, wasn't he the star in that Facebook movie?
Yes.
Yeah, he played Mark Zuckerberg. Have you guys seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Social
I have.
Network? I was just
I saw it on it was a date movie that I took a date for it.
That's a cool movie.
My main concern with the movie would be the amount of characters that are going to be in it. I don't know for a fact it's Batman, Superman, right? Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman,
Spider-Man.
Doesn't Wonder Woman only come into the movie?
Wonder Woman's part in the film is very small and minimal. She's not going to be a huge part in it.
Is Aquaman?
Her part was described as just a glorified cameo.
Okay, but so Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, yes or
Maybe. I mean, there hasn't even been anything about him in the trailers, so his part, if he is actually going to be in the film, is going to be really minuscule.
Doomsday, right?
Yes.
Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. And is there any other significant...
Is the Joker going to be in it?
I don't think so. I think they're just having like Easter eggs for the Joker, like the newspaper and then the Robin suit with his writing on it. I think that's all. I don't think he's actually going to be in it.
Sounds so cluttered.
I am more interested in the Batman element of the film than I am with the Superman stuff. Like, if this was just a Batman movie, then I would be much more interested in it. Because I find him a more interesting character by far than Superman. And so what I'm kind of bummed is that this is going to be a poor mashup movie where it's like, well, I think maybe it could have been cooler if it was a Batman movie with a little bit of Superman as opposed to, but I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know what it's going to be.
Honestly, I think that's what it's going to be. This is more a Batman movie than a Superman movie.
Well, I guess it is Batman v Superman.
They've come out saying that. Cool. And I think it's the right way to go because DC doesn't want to do just a Marvel thing where they put all their movies out and then they do the mashup movie together. They want to do the mashup movie at first and then do the solo films, which I think is an interesting way to go.
Civil War.
So Marvel
I'm interested to see the movie and see if it exceeds my expectations. Like, I'm not like off there,
I think it's really gonna surprise people and be really good.
Yeah, I just from what I've seen, the one trailer, the main trailer they revealed or whatever, just seemed like it showed a lot. Like watching it, seemed like I could kind of put together what's going to happen in the movie.
See, that's another thing. I feel like I've seen the movie already, which
Snyder has come out and said that there's so much more that they haven't shown in the trailers.
Okay.
And
as what though? I mean, like.
As plot points,
but plot points really isn't that important. What it is what the summary of the film is. I feel like I've seen the excerpt of the story of the film. I guess plot points are different. That's what actually happens in the film, and that is understandable.
What you're saying that you've already seen.
No, I'm saying
you're saying that you've seen parts of the film already, and you can put the plot points together. And that you've already seen.
For me, I could see
yes, I'm saying that, but plot.
And that's what I'm saying, that they haven't given away. They've come out saying that there's so much more of this film that has yet to be seen or even talked about.
Let me explain. So I'll explain this in a way. So say someone has to go on a journey and they have to find a red stick, a blue stick, a green stick, a black stick, and an orange stick. So the plot points of a film is finding the orange stick, the black stick, the blue stick, the purple stick, and the yellow, whatever the colors I said. The summary of the film is saying a guy goes out and finds 7 colored sticks. That explains everything I just said without actually seeing it. So the plot points are different than story. Plot is like the concrete things that happen, where story is the overarching narrative of the film. So I feel like I've seen the overarching narrative of the film, even though I haven't seen the plot points, which are different than the story. They mean two different things. So even though I haven't seen the 2.5-hour film, I feel like I know the arc of the 2.5-hour film, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like Batman and Superman will probably be in like a slow burn conflict to like 90 minutes into the movie.
Well, though, yeah, Act 2 will end with them being friends, and then for the rest of Act 3, it's the conflict with Doomsday. Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. And so that will be the third act of the film. Because then that's when you learn like who the true villain is, or I guess the real struggle against the true villain starts at that point, because the kind of the MacGuffin is that either Superman is the villain, which I guess that's what you're saying, right? Is the MacGuffin is Superman's the villain of the film, until you realize that, oh no, it's actually this other person, and so Batman and Superman team up together. I mean, we, as people who have seen the trailers or know the story, know that, well, of course Superman isn't the actual villain in the film, so we have different context because we've seen trailers and because we know what happens. But like, if someone were to watch the film from the beginning of the movie, I think the way that they will try to set it up is that, one of them is a hero, one of them is the villain. And that doesn't mean that one of them is bad, one of them is good. It's just in a film you have the hero, which is the main character, the person you follow, and you have the villain, who is the antithesis of the hero in terms of what their goals are and stuff. And so you can have a hero and villain who are both on the same side morally, but they're not. But they're still hero and a villain. That's just the description of their roles in a film. And so what I'm guessing then is, the first act is you follow. That's usually the introduction to the film. You are introduced to everything. You learn about kind of what the main goal of the film is, which is to save the world. And then Act 2 is kind of the biggest portion of the film, and that's where it's kind of the struggle with Batman and Superman, and then that climaxes at the end of Act 2 with the two of them working together, and then that's when Wonder Woman comes in at some point, and then you spend the rest of the film getting to the end where they beat Doomsday. And so I guess that's what I'm saying, where I feel like I know what's going to happen in the film even though I haven't seen the film. But I mean, I think that's true for a lot of superhero movies. Like, you could say that with
just about any Marvel
movie. Even without having to see it too. I mean, like, okay, Iron Man 4, at the end of Act 2, this is going to happen. At the end of Act 1, this is going to happen. And then by the end of Act 3, they're all together, and Pepper Potts somehow has powers. So I think that's more indicative of the superhero genre. But I just feel like that trailer really showed a lot more than a lot of other superhero trailers have.
I'm hoping if what Mick said is true about the Batman thing, which I think it's true, that there'd be more twists in it than we think.
I hope so, because that'll make the movie more interesting and less predictable, which makes movies a lot more watchable. Like, Star Wars was kind of like that, where I could not have explained to you the plot, or I could not have explained to you the story of Star Wars by seeing that trailer. I'd be like, I don't know. I mean, characters we knew are coming back, and there are these new people, but I couldn't have explained to you the arc of the film, I guess, by seeing that trailer. Which was really exciting to watch the movie for the first time, because it was exciting, and the whole story was being unfurled for you as you watched it. Which is really fun in watching a movie, because that's how movies really are supposed to be watched. That's why I don't like trailers, but as someone who gets behind hype of things, you still want to watch them anyway because you get excited about it. But a lot of movies
have bad trailers.
The trailers ruin the movie for you, and there's too much of the film that is just the kind of whatever's special about it, or certain aspects of it are stripped away because you have this weird half context for what you're watching. And the way a filmmaker develops a film is that you watch it from the beginning without any context, so that you are learning these things throughout the film. But I mean, the way Hollywood is a business, and so they have trailers so that they get people to come watch the movie. And in order to get people to come watch the movie, they need to show you things that make you want to see the movie. And in that, it kind of undermines the artistic integrity of the film, which is unfortunate, but like I said, it's a business. That's why producers make movies, but because directors make movies, it's kind of this weird clash that really. So don't watch trailers.
But you can make good trailers though, because a few movies like recent memory, like Star Wars, I'd say The Hateful Eight did not show much in the trailers. It just gave you.
What about Suicide Squad?
They showed a lot of action scenes. I would say.
I didn't really see one. Trailer. But
I watched a trailer for this movie called High Rise that's coming out in a couple months. It's got what's his face in it? The guy Tom Hiddleston that plays Loki. In the trailer, I already knew something about the book because I'm going to read the book, and so I don't know about it, and saw the trailer for the movie. And you honestly would not know much about the plot at all from watching the trailer, but the trailer is really well done, where it makes you like, I want to know what this movie's about, and it's like it makes you look into it more. So I think you can make a good trailer, but most of the time, they just show way too much.
Well, yeah, and I am no way really happy that they put Doomsday in the trailer. I knew that he was going to be in the movie, so it wasn't a surprise to me, but this trailer has made so much conflict and concerned for the people that thought they were seeing just a Batman Superman movie.
Well, anyone who thought that was stupid.
I thought that.
Exactly.
I didn't have any context.
Well,
about
Ben, you're stupid.
No,
But
I
see,
didn't have
I mean,
any
and the
context.
subtitle of the movie is Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
So you knew that there was going to be some
They're gonna
element
bring the Justice
where
League into it.
where it was the start of the Justice League. So
Mhm.
how are you going to start the Justice League? Well, there has to be a conflict where all of them come together. So people knew or should have known that it wasn't just a Batman Superman movie. Those, like you said, who thought that are just stupid.
You know, I should add though. I
Sorry,
was,
Ben. I
was writing along with the.
It's whatever. It's just I don't care stuff like that very much, and I never really liked the idea of the Justice League. I think it's stupid. I don't know why. I don't know much about it.
Well, the Avengers came first in 2012.
Makes sense.
Well, I don't know. It's just one thing that I've never really been like a comic guy. So I guess when I saw the trailer, I really thought it was gonna be this conflict between Batman and Superman, which I thought was gonna be really
Okay, well,
awesome.
see, so what if they had done the trailer, but they didn't include the Doomsday stuff? I think that maybe would have
The only
been a
thing
little
that
bit more interesting because, I mean, you know Lex Luthor's in the film, so you know he's either going to be a villain in this film or he's, they're kind of introducing him to be a villain later, which probably is more
and I agree.
likely.
I like I said, I don't think they should have put Doomsday in the trailer. I think that was basically kind of an FU to the audience of, you guys are stupid, we need to sell this movie more. And they've come out saying that trailer was more for the fans' parents, like, oh, this is what happens. The trailer for Comic-Con was more of the actual fan trailer. And that trailer was probably one of the best trailers of 2015.
Trailer for their parents?
That's
what they used as
like a general audience.
Yeah, no,
for
I
people
know.
that
I understand
don't know,
that, but I feel like
don't know anything about the film.
I feel like
they're saying, "Oh, there's Batman, Superman. Oh, and they're gonna fight some evil person." Okay,
I feel like that's a cop out for the studio. Oh, it was a trailer for the parents.
No, that does, because as I was saying, I was riding along with the technician for my internship. And when he brought up, we were just talking about whatever, and that movie came up, he's like, I don't want to watch Batman and Superman fight. That's all he knew about the movie, just from the title, because not everybody, we're in a circle of people, we are kind of, I would say, nerds. We're into social media.
It's a geek.
We watch a lot of trailers, we know a lot about movies, but for somebody that doesn't do that, you just see the title of the movie, Batman vs. Superman, you just assume that's what it is. So I can understand from a marketing position. That they
well, yeah, and you get all those people.
I guess consumers are just.
I've heard so many questions from older people like, "Oh, well, aren't Batman and Superman friends? Why are they fighting?" So I think it does make sense for them to come out with that trailer. Still, for me and my knowledge of what I have with the DC universe, I would have rather them not. I think they should have cut the trailer right when they were showing that, because up to then, it was still a really good trailer. They were showing just kind of action scenes and not giving away, like, oh, now this part is going to happen. Even though I knew it, I still wanted to have that kind of suspense and surprise, and especially even just seeing the character. I didn't think they should have shown the character. If they just showed, or have the sound of the roar and then cut it there, even that would have been awesome. I was surprised that they showed what he looked like, and they are saying that that's not going to be what he looks like in the end. That Doomsday is someone that is he regenerates and reanimates after each fight. He dies. He can never die in that way again because he adapts to that, and so I think that they're going to explore that. And I think by the end of the movie or whatever, if Doomsday comes back later, he's going to look more like the Doomsday that people are familiar with. I personally don't have a problem with how he looks right there. A lot of people say, he looks like a Shrek Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hybrid or something, but I don't know.
Do you think they kind of maybe had a misstep with the original titling it of Batman v Superman then?
I personally don't care for the title that much. I think it's too much of a mouthful. I wish they had gone.
Why wasn't it just Dawn of Justice?
Well, because
I guess that sounds boring.
yeah, I mean, and I think they sell it
They're like,
better.
is that a World War One movie?
Like with financially, I think they sell it better having the actual names of the characters just pop right in front.
Well, most superhero movies don't. Most superhero movies have the superhero name in the title. I think that.
I have a question, Mick. What do you find appealing about like the Justice League? Because for some reason, like I don't like it. I feel like it's just this hokey idea that they all band together and.
Well, do you like the Avengers?
No. I don't know. I don't think the Avengers are taken serious. I think I like them a bit better just because they aren't taking it as seriously. Like, I don't really...
characters themselves?
Why do you
think...
It just doesn't feel like it's serious. Like, I don't feel like...
No, Marvel movies are not very serious.
But with DC, I'm just wondering, like, how they're going to, like, make this, like, super, serious
okay.
like they usually do.
So, can I interject? I guess...
No.
The Avengers seem kind of more like a ragtag team of, like, they just, like, we gotta band together.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think the Justice League sometimes seems too formal. Like we are a troop,
I just don't
with like a
get it.
hierarchy
they're
or something.
They're like the most powerful people in the world. Why? Like, okay, they're defending against like aliens and stuff, right? Or I'm not sure. I just don't know.
Mix like you ignore.
You ignoramus.
I guess that's just something I don't like about the trailer of what I saw. Is like Wonder Woman banding together with Batman and Superman. Like, they don't need that.
Well,
they don't need a woman. Is that what you were going to say, Ben? Is that what you were thinking?
They don't need Aquaman. They don't need. I just would.
I'll throw Aquaman to the curb.
I'm so excited for Aquaman. Jason Momoa looks so freaking cool.
What is like?
Was he called Drogo in
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Are they using his actor?
I think that's
Jason Momoa. I don't know. I don't know anything about.
I think
they do. I don't think I can take him
at
seriously.
one point, I had heard about that or read it or seen a picture of him. I think
I did not like his actor.
No, but like, Nick,
Khal
Drogo's a huge what do you like guy? About that?
Yeah, he's like the leader
about
of
the Justice League.
Yeah,
the what are they called?
Well, I like DC better than Marvel. Okay. The more I guess I was kind of a Marvel person in the beginning, just because I really like Spider-Man, and that was like the first comic book movie that I saw, and so that had kind of a special place to me. But just seeing the more mature, darker tones of the DC world as a whole, I
like that too.
I don't know, it seems more real to me. Like looking at a Man of Steel or Dark Knight trilogy movies, those seem like they get to my heart and soul more than a Marvel movie where it's just like, a punchline every 5 lines, and it just gets too much.
That's gonna be
and so I like having that more story and more like tear-jerking seriousness of the DC world. And so, and as far as the most powerful people coming together and forming a team, the Avengers do that. They are the most powerful people on Earth coming together. It's the same thing.
No,
so
I get that. It's just what makes me like wary about it is because they have the dark, serious tone with DC.
Well, and I think also
it's hard not to make it like hokey to me.
Well, also what you need to understand is this isn't the Nolan universe.
Okay.
It's going to be a lighter tone with also keeping that dark feel of the DC universe, which I think you could see in the Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah,
it's that darker DC feel, but it has that comic feel at the same time.
See, that feels more like a Marvel movie to me,
but it's not. It's really not.
No, it doesn't. It feels more Marvelish than Nolan movies, which I would say. The Nolan trilogy, I would not actually even say those are superhero movies to a certain extent. I would say those
and
are
a lot of people don't
movies.
consider it a superhero movie.
No, and I love those movies, but I would say they're more
superhero movies. Really,
I would say
they're
more
crime.
crime.
Kind of lied to because me growing up never like reading comic books or anything like that, and I just kind of
I didn't either.
I kind of started getting into the Batman. That's kind of the first thing I got into is the Nolan ones, and so that's what I saw as superhero movies. So I guess,
and like this universe is going to be not a realistic, like the Nolan universe. You would never see a juiced up Bane or a Superman flying around.
Yeah.
That wasn't their take on it.
Yeah.
Nolan wanted a
Bane's actually like a huge guy in the comics.
Yeah, he juices up with venom and he gets like 8 feet tall. And
doesn't he also have a Mexican accent?
Yeah, he's like a
luchador. So, okay, I get that. I guess I shouldn't be taking it so seriously then. Or at least comparing it with the Batman.
And it sucks because people were they got so used to that Batman Nolan of, this is just a serious, darker, real world, realistic kind of film. And so that carried over to this new, like the DC which I think hurt them a little bit.
It's especially since it's so soon.
At the same time, they couldn't really take that much time between, the changing of the universe. Because,
gotta make that money.
Yeah, they want money. But I don't know. I like the Justice League because there's so much. There's so many different characters in there that bring something else to the table. You have basically Batman, a man among gods, is considered equal to them.
Martian Manhunter, Maneater. No, whoa.
Manhunter. Which I don't know if he's going to be in the universe. I would kind of like that. He's a cool character.
Is that the guy with the red eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hope they make the movies have a different kind of vibe to them.
Well, and
each one I hope kind of has a different, like the Marvel movies, like they're just kind of the same.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's
They're the same movie. And I enjoy them. They're enjoyable movies. But
that's what they are. They're fun.
They're like
summertime blockbuster movie. Yeah. And all together, I don't mind the Marvel movies. I get sick of them after a while. But I mean, I love some of them. I love the second Captain America because it was more of a 70s thriller film. I liked Ant-Man. It was kind of a heist film.
Ant-Man was good.
It was good.
It was really funny too.
But at the same time, those films just have the same set kind of palette over it of having, we need a joke here, we need a joke here, and
they're all the same type of jokes.
It's just so much like
they're never subtle.
It's all playing to the audience. Like for example, in Ant-Man, when the daughter and father are having a heart to heart of him explaining what happened to his wife, they could have cut away right there and just gone on with it, but then Scott, Ant-Man's character, has to come in with, this is good. You guys are healing. This is awesome.
Yeah. But the movie is a comedy, so
well, that's the thing that I don't really care for. And you look at the first Spider-Man films. They didn't have that.
No,
but those weren't comedies primarily.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't like that the comic book film has to be a comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what the new MCU is. And MCU.
DCU?
No, MCU is
MCU.
Right.
Yeah. Marvel Cinematic. Well, but what about Captain America?
But it works.
Too.
It works for them. It makes them tons of money. People like that. I personally don't care for it that much. It just gets too much. I mean, you look at another example in Guardians of the Galaxy when, and again, it's just because it's a comedy. It's how their films are. But when Star-Lord saves Gamora in space and they fall into the ship, they have that little kind of heart-to-heart of, I found something inside of me, and then it turns into a joke. Like, something heroic, and you get that eye roll from Gamora, and the audience laughs. It'd just be almost kind of a breath of fresh air every once in a while just to have that more serious, I found something inside of me. Someone else comes into the room, they pan up at them, and then you carry on with the scene. They do that over and over and over again in the Marvel films, and at least for me, I don't care for it that much. I'll still watch a Marvel movie and enjoy it, but that's one thing I love about the DC universe, and I hope that they don't take that mindset of playing to the audience and putting jokes every 10 seconds.
But what about like Captain America was less of a...
They still have those Marvel.
Well, yeah, but every Man of Steel had funny moments.
But at the same time, those moments weren't playing to the audience of like, oh, did you catch that joke?
I know that S joke with the thing about the... No, that means hope. That was one of those jokes where it was...
It's really not.
I don't know,
though.
I felt that...
It's not... It takes place in the universe. It makes sense in the universe. They're not... Oh, we need to turn this into a joke. It's. I don't know what that kind of comedy is, but I don't know what the name is. But it just.
The orange.
It's a very.
You have right there is a block remover.
They're really nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why Jesse just talked to me.
Well, because you were.
I'm not
messing with
planning on taking the blocks apart, Jesse.
I was just.
Mick's trying to talk here.
I was telling you what it was.
I don't care.
That's a block move. No.
The one...
Ben, that's a block remover.
What are you doing?
Anyway,
I always thought that was
sorry.
a doorstop
No,
or
it's
something.
a block.
It's a block remover.
The one thing that really grinds my gears, I guess, about the Marvel movies is when people get like really obsessed with them. Like, okay, like my older sister gets like really into them. She thinks they're like all emotional and everything like that. Avengers 2 when what was that guy that? Spoilers, that one guy that died. And
Quicksilver.
Yeah, when
I had no emotion.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
reaction.
like, oh, they're gonna kill Hawkeye. I'm like, maybe they'll actually kill a significant character.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Is Hawkeye really that significant though?
Yeah.
No.
more significant than Quicksilver was.
And that Quicksilver was terrible.
Yeah, he was
The one from Days of Future Past was awesome.
That was my favorite part of.
He really brought something to that film.
Is he in the new? Is he going to be in the new
I
one?
believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just really like that part in the Avengers 2, which I did not like that movie very much at all.
Yeah, it fell short of the first one, and they unfortunately had a lot to live up to, and I don't know, it was just another, expendable army of robot alien kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really didn't care for Ultron that much.
Oh, I liked Ultron.
He at the same time
Ultron.
had that humor that was just like,
Out of
I
place.
gotta make a joke here,
Yeah,
and I
it
gotta make a joke
reminds
here.
me
It's
of
like,
the movie
why
Robots.
don't you
That
have
movie
a more
Robots.
like go out of your comfort zone, Marvel, and have that more serious tone? And I hope they kind of go that way with Civil War. That's what it appears to be, but at the same time, Age of Ultron, those trailers had that same tone, like, oh, this is going to be serious, but then it was lighthearted and funny, and I don't know.
I will add the Marvel Universe, what they've done with their TV shows, Daredevil and Jessica Jones. They still have a few of those Marvel jokes in there, but those shows are dark. Especially Jessica Jones.
I've heard
Jessica Jones
really
I've
dark.
heard it's-
That show goes places
Like
that,
rapey dark.
Yeah, no, it does. No, it does. It goes into a lot of sexual assault, borderline stuff. With David Tennant plays the villain in that.
Oh god,
and he's
supposed to be really
utterly terrifying, like a level of sadistic.
Does
that
he come out of like a TARDIS? Or like have a wand?
Yeah.
well, in like
It's my sonic screwdriver.
like I would say level.
Where am I
of-
going to put it?
Oh god!
Never
Oh
mind,
my god!
Phillips or Flathead?
Philip?
Yeah, flathead. Ooh.
Like I would say to the level of I don't want to. I guess like to the level of the Joker of being that kind of iconic villain. I would highly recommend watching that.
Why are we talking about
And I mean, you see.
You brought it up.
And that has the characters that you like can really kind of
Yeah.
that feel more real, and you can empathize and sympathize.
You have a
with
much
them.
more emotional connection to them. And like a character like the Joker, he has those funny moments, but they're not. And I guess I'm more quoting
They more play on scare.
as the Nolan Joker. He is a funny character, but it's not a cheeky playing to the.
I don't know.
audience.
I don't think he's a funny character. I think he's a terrifying character.
Yeah, I think it's Devil's character. Really.
There are times where the audience laughs, though. But
Well,
like,
that's what I'm
out
saying.
of
Yeah.
fear.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
more like,
I'm not
murder
saying. I'm not saying he is a Ultron character or a Loki
No.
or a Loki character.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he is still comical at times, like. You know, like the nurse costume scene where, you know, just his dialogue, the pencil trick.
The pencil trick's like the best part of that movie.
You know, it's comical, but at the same time, it's real comedy. Not I gotta have a punchline here. Which I see Marvel. That's what they do, and it works for them. You know, some people like that, and great for you. Mindless drugs.
I like that.
But it just gets too much for me sometimes. And I mean, again, you look at the first Spider-Man film that came out, it was not like that at all. It was very real, you know, real humor. There was nothing that was played to the camera, nothing cheeky like that, and it worked. It was a good film. It was a funny film. It was a lighthearted film.
I really liked it.
It was a great superhero film.
Yeah,
a great Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the whole thing with Uncle Ben and everything, like, that's just it's really sad.
His crying scene was terrible.
What?
No.
Andrew
Garfield's Christ was terrible.
The Uncle Ben death in the first movie.
They nailed.
Yeah, that was so good. Like, you really feel for Peter Parker's character because you're like, oh no, like he could have stopped this, but you could see his remorse so well, and then you're really behind him when he's kind of on that vendetta against the guy who you know that killed his uncle, and then when you learn that it's the same guy, you're like, no. Oh, that's a good movie. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But that one and the second one.
I did not like the second one.
You didn't like the second?
No. The second one is
with Doc Ock?
Yeah, I know. I think it's regarded as probably the best one of the three, and I just did not care for it. I did not like Doc Ock.
But you loved the third one.
I actually did like the third one.
Oh my god!
That was horrible.
So much sense.
I have not seen it in a long time.
Oh gosh,
so.
watch it again.
He's like dancing in the streets, like doing that to
Oh, I love that. So stupid.
What you need to watch is how Spider-Man 3 should have ended. Then watch Spider-Man 3 again, and then realize how bad of a movie it is.
I can look back and realize, okay, it probably was a pretty bad movie. That's why I don't want to watch it again, because I did have fond memories of watching it when I was younger.
Yeah,
so.
don't ruin
that movie had such good potential though too, with Hobgoblin, and well, not technically Hobgoblin, I guess, with the second Green Goblin,
New Goblin,
with Venom, who is my favorite villain.
Well, and Venom wasn't even supposed to be in the film. Sony was pushing for that, and Sam Raimi, I think, wanted Sandman to be the main villain, and he really got pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
It was
bad.
I still haven't seen the second Amazing Spider-Man.
I liked it.
Do you have it?
I don't.
Okay.
I love the suit. Was probably my favorite on-screen Spider-Man suit. You know,
for the second
together.
movie.
For all Spider-Man films, the Sam Raimi ones, the first Amazing one, and then the second one.
I like Andrew Garfield.
I don't know.
I do.
I like him as an actor. I don't know if I really like him as Spider-Man, but
Tobey Maguire just had such a.
He was a perfect.
I don't know if that was just because it was my first. I'm sure that had something to do with it, but I could not see anyone else play that part except for Tobey Maguire.
I really feel like he was perfect.
He was perfect.
Perfect.
For it. He had that
awkwardness.
Yeah, which in the comics, Peter Parker is really this awkward, nerdy guy. Like Andrew Garfield, they try to play him as that, but it's like. No, he's not.
Cool
he's
kid.
like he would be a cool kid with like all these.
Yeah, like they tried to play him. I think Mark Webb was saying that they didn't want to go such a nerdy Peter Parker,
like
like
social outcast.
It's more like the social
skater
outcast. Like I'm on my own kind of outcast person, which I don't think works for. Peter Parker, that's just not his character, really.
Yeah. He's awkward, but he's not, like, an outcast.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at Andrew Garfield, and you're like, that dude's, like, hot. Why would nobody want to talk to that person? Like, it just, like, I think Tobey Maguire is an attractive man, but he's not. He's not like. I mean, you know what I'm saying though? Like, he comes off as nerdy and like, oh, he's kind of weird and nerdy. Like, it's just it didn't sell for me really.
I think I really felt the like anxiety with Tobey Maguire. Like, I guess I could relate.
Ben was like, I can relate to that guy.
No, I don't know. Like, just with him and Mary Jane.
When I squint, I see Tobey Maguire in you.
Yeah.
When I squint in the mirror, I get 6-pack.
No, I don't know. I related to him, so I haven't seen the new ones. But...
And the music too. I mean, and that's another thing I'll say. The scores in Marvel films just don't do anything.
I love the Avengers songs.
It's so bland to me.
I love the Avengers theme.
Which is surprising because some of it is Danny Elfman that does it, and he did the first Spider-Man films, which I love that.
What else did
that soundtrack? He does almost.
Danny Elfman
anything.
has done a lot.
He does a lot of stuff with Tim Burton.
He's done most of Tim Burton's films.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's one thing I love about. I mean, you go to the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. That soundtrack is unbelievable. It's so right for that universe, and just the theme. It just sticks in your head, and it I don't know. For me, it emotionally just gets me involved in that story and universe. And same with Man of Steel. It's awesome. I don't want to hear. I was reading some article that was saying like fan outcry of, oh, bring the Superman theme back. Because no, I do not want that. I do not want that. And they won't bring it back, but I hope not. I don't want to see.
If that pops up in the movie, I'm walking out of the theater.
I would be very. Money. I would be very upset if they did.
But no, I could go ask for it back.
Can you get your money back from movie theaters though?
Yeah.
You can.
Mm-hmm. I've
bad. I've never done that though, but I'm like, I have a pretty low tolerance for films. Like, I'll watch film and be like, meh. Like Crimson Peak.
Yeah.
That was like a 5 out of 10, maybe.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that was a bad movie. It was not a movie that appealed to me. You know, mismarketed, did not appeal to me.
Yeah.
And then the execution of what it was trying to be was not very good either.
I still think the art direction of that movie was really good, though. The art direction and that mansion was super cool. And I thought the acting was pretty good. But this story was just
meh.
Poop.
But I'm very excited to hear the Batman theme because it's still Hans Zimmer doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be different than the Nolan theme, but it's also going to be the same composer. So I'm just curious to see what
differences.
What the new kind of theme is.
What if in the last 5 minutes of the movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Robin comes out and guns down everybody, and he's like, "I'm the real Batman."
Are they going to bring him back into it?
No, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it was ever. I don't know if it was ever like real, but it was definitely going around on the internet like tons of. You know, Christian Bale was offered $50 million to take the part and reprise his role. No, I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe that at all because if he was, he would have taken that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and the fact that
$50 million.
The fact that the universes just aren't the same. People wanted Christian Bale to come back. I personally didn't. I want to see something new and something fresh. And it just honestly, and even if he did play a different Batman in a different universe, it still wouldn't have worked. You need someone else. You need someone fresh. And honestly, I'm not a huge Ben Affleck person, but as
Daredevil,
he was good in Gone Girl.
But as Bruce Wayne and as Batman, he looks perfect for the role. And I'm hoping that his acting is going to be great. I mean, I loved him in Argo. He was really good in that film. And I think he's matured a lot as an actor from Daredevil and Pearl Harbor. And whatever else crap he's been in. But I'm very excited to see his take on the character, and I think he'll do a good job. And seeing the chemistry of him and Henry Cavill, gives me hope that those two characters will also interact very well together.
Well, they're supposed to fight, so they shouldn't be interacting nicely.
They spit at each other.
What time is it?
7:41. Well,
so I know. Do you want to?
yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Well, Dave got engaged.
Woo! Hey, let's drink! Yeah!
Oh, that's what we were waiting.
I was gonna get champagne, but I was like, oh wait, there's two people that do it. So I got champagne for Jesse, Dave, and I, and you guys can have some juice. I heard champagne's really good too.
Yeah, champagne's pretty great.
No.
Maybe that's my people around me saying that
Probably.
it's
I don't know. I've never had
Champagne's pretty
champagne.
great.
I've never either.
I like champagne.
I've
I
had
heard
champagne.
it's really good.
It's not bad.
bad. You guys didn't tell me you were playing.
But sparkling cider
I
is
seem like
better.
a jerk asking me, what time is it?
Well, why are you even asking what time it is?
It's because
You want me
we
to get
need to like keep it kind of.
Decapitated, or do you just
No,
want the...
just look at your
I
clock.
don't have a clock.
Well, there's a better way to ask
My
than
phone's
saying,
dead.
what time is it? Be like, well,
you
so we're going to wrap up
me
soon,
on
right?
you tap me on the leg and you go. Then I take my phone.
You can't ask what time it is because that's
What time is it? I won't leave.
There's
do
zero
that every- I do
There's
that every
zero
time.
reference for people who like say they're listening to this. Actually, there's zero reference that won't matter to them because they're not
We
listening
just say
to
it's
it.
like
right.
closing time or something like that. Come on.
Closing time.
Yeah, it's closing time.
So Dave,
One last
You're
call.
But the host is the one that closes
I know,
it.
but wait for Jesse. We didn't say anything.
Well, then don't say anything because Jesse hasn't closed it
I just
yet.
know that like, my internal clock.
Well,
Like,
no,
this is taking a long
Because
time.
I looked down to see what
Well,
time
then you
it
can
was.
leave, but don't say anything.
I
Okay,
looked
who
down
wants
to
what?
see what time it was, and I was like, maybe we should
Apple,
start
and
closing
this
this.
is just normal.
I'll have some of that Apple stuff.
I think the
Yeah. Wait.
Just give me the whole bottle.
It's poison.
Nick, what do you have planned for the bachelor party?
I can't say anything yet.
Axis and allies.
Oh my
Axis
God,
and
no.
allies.
No board games allowed.
Well, just congratulations.
But then
Well, then-
card games.
Well, then I'm not going.
for your own.
Dave, no, like I'm really excited.
Thank you,
for
Mick.
you. I think that's super awesome.
I'm a little excited too.
Yeah, well,
How long has it been? 5
so
years.
awesome, though.
5
Yeah.
years in the work.
Yeah, kind of. More. I guess
More?
more like
Thanks,
4. I
Mhm.
guess.
Jesse, do you want this or the other one?
What is that one?
This is the apple cranberry one.
No, but really, it's just so awesome. I don't know why. I just like thinking of work today. Like I'm so happy for Dave. It's just so cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I was at work today.
Are you excited?
Yes. I was at work today, and I just every once in a while I'd be like, and I start smiling, and I was like, whew, man, I can't believe I got here.
I was gonna get cigars, but then I remembered that was for when you were father. So hopefully, I don't need to get cigars yet.
Nope.
Hey, you never know.
But Jesse's a dad. Congratulations!
Not yet.
All right, guys. I'd like to make a toast.
Okay.
Congratulations to Dave.
Congrats, Dave.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mike.
This is our last podcast.
So that's awesome, Dave. As your best man, I'm very excited.
But as your brother, I hate you so much.
As your
Yeah.
brother, you beat me to the punch.
Well, she got down on one knee and asked me to marry her.
Oh yeah, so
And I
how?
finally said yes.
I assume you went to the Finch Arboretum.
Did you go
Yeah.
to Jared?
How'd you do it? You said you didn't get down on one knee. Did you like
Oh,
trip
yeah, I
and you
didn't know
like
your
fell
story.
over or something?
Okay,
Yeah, let's
so-
hear.
So we went, and there's this creek that runs through the Arboretum. So we went to this bridge, and we sat down on the bridge, and we had done this years ago. It was in, I think, 2011, in summertime though. It was in August, and we were there at the Arboretum, and I had taken her to the Arboretum to show her what it was like. And we were there, and we just like had put our feet in the water and stuff, and we were sitting there, and that was the first place that the first time that she had told me that she liked me, and it was like such a really hard struggle of like me getting to, because she had known for months that I had liked her, because I had actually told her, and we had just like hung out and we were still friends. I wasn't weird about it,
But you're probably weird.
But it was
You're always weird.
No.
Yeah.
But it was because I didn't pester her and be like, do you like me now? Like I was her friend. I was her really close friend at school, and she had no idea that I liked her. And I told her that I liked her, and she freaked out. Not at me, but like afterwards, because she thought that we were just friends. She had no idea that I liked her. And so after that, though, I didn't do anything different. I didn't change anything. I didn't act any different. And so she kind of got acclimated to that and was like, oh, okay, I can see this. And then she kind of was like, oh, I like him. I guess I like him too, because she had never really experienced, I guess, boys in that way before. Like, we had sat there in the summertime and we were just there together, and she had told me that she liked me, and I was like, this is the best day of all time. And so at that point, I was like, if I ever propose to her, it has to be right here.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, it is January,
freezing.
and it's freezing cold, and she gets cold really easily, but I was like, I have to go there. So I took her to that spot, and we were standing there on the bridge, and she was like joking around. She's like, you're gonna put your feet in the water? And I was like, yeah. So I took off my shoes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I sat down in
the ring was in your shoe.
I sat down on the bridge, and I put my feet in the water, and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. It's nice. So she sat down, she took off her shoes, and she put her feet in the water. And so we were sitting there, and we were just kind of talking a little bit. And then I took out the ring, and I asked her to marry me, and she kept saying, are you playing to me? Which is her way of saying, like, are you joking? Because she was freaked out because she thought I was going to keep fake proposing to her. like opening the box.
So
and like,
you've done this already?
Well, I've like fake proposed to her.
Oh, wow.
But she knew I wasn't really proposing to her because we didn't have that blessing or anything. So she was convinced for like the next week that I was going to be taking her to these romantic places and like get down on one knee and like open a box and there'd be like nothing in there. I'd be like, okay, to my goal. So she was convinced that I wasn't going to actually propose. So when I opened it and the ring was in there, and when we went shopping for the ring last year, she thought I was getting a sapphire, but I actually got a diamond. And so,
nice.
So she looked at it and she's like, you changed the stone.
She's like, I wanted the sapphire.
I don't think she wanted the sapphire. I'm pretty sure she wanted but she said yes, and
then you dropped it in the creek.
Crap! Yeah. No, that's...
Then you tried putting it on her finger, but her finger fell off.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
But we sat there, and then...
Frostbite.
Sorry.
And then we left and ate sushi.
Where'd you go?
QQ?
Asian... Ginger Asian Bistro on the South Hill. It's near Manitou Park.
Oh, gotcha.
It was actually really nice. There's this like big bay windows, and right outside you see the church that's there, the one that Monica, Brianna's sister, got married in. So it's that beautiful Catholic church that's up on the hill.
Did she think it was romantic that we did that?
I think so.
I think that's pretty sweet. You know?
I think so.
It's a pretty good story.
Going back to the spot where... that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
My story's probably not going to be that good.
Yeah, all four of us now are like trying to think, man, I gotta top that.
In the HVAC van.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let me run over this hobo and I gotta ask you a question.
Well, it was funny because, like, what I was gonna do, I guess, was just take her to the bridge and then just like propose to her.
Push her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, take her to the bridge and shut her off.
And then propose to her and then go back. But like we sat there for a while, and I didn't plan on putting our feet in the water because I was like, it's gonna be so cold. But
I think that was a good touch.
No,
it was.
That's a really good touch.
And it actually didn't feel cold at all.
You know
Well,
why?
at least for me.
You know why? Because your blood was rushing so fast.
Warm.
And then you look up and see a deer like 5 feet away. You're like, oh. Start peeing into the creek.
Lifting its legs. But it was really nice. Yesterday was crazy though because we talked with her parents again in the morning, and then we basically got that final like okay.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Then we went to the Arboretum and that's where I proposed to her. Then we were like, oh, where can we go eat? So I actually had this place in mind. There's this really nice seafood place just north of the river downtown, but they didn't open till 4 p.m. So I was like, well, we're not going to wait around for 2 hours. So we went to I started driving in South Hill because she was talking about the church, and I was like, oh, I'll show you that church. We can go look at it. And so while we were around there, we stopped at Manitou, and she wanted to take a picture, so we took a picture, and then that's when we went to the other Asian place. And then after that, we were like, oh, okay, well now we gotta tell her parents, we gotta tell my parents, and then usually we go play games at game night, and we hadn't done that in quite a while. So
you tell all them.
So we went there, and Brianna wasn't able to contain herself, so she told them.
See, this is why I didn't show up last week.
I bet they freaked out.
And then after that, then we went to her parents and told her parents, and they were actually they were good. And Carlos gave me a tie. He was like, you must have a tie. So he went upstairs and he like gave me this tie as like a gift.
No, it's really kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just
it was really nice. We talked for a long time, and he just kind of like he had reiterated some stuff. He was basically like, I'm basically entrusting her
I still
with.
hate you.
I still hate you, but you can have my daughter.
No. He was basically saying like I'm entrusting her with you, and like her potential is not to be squandered, and like she cannot be wasted because she has so much potential, and that's basically what he doesn't want to happen, which I 100% agree with, and that's one reason I think our union will be good, because we really do complement each other well. And one of my big things is trying to push her in the things that she really is good at and find interest in, and that she just excels at. And so I don't want to hold her back. I want to do kind of just the opposite and try to basically be there with her and help her along, and then her with me too. I mean, I have different kind of aspirations than she does, I guess, in terms of like career mindedness, but just I think we both support each other very well, and so I don't want to disappoint Carlos in that way, but I don't think I will. I mean, and that really what it comes down to is just kind of time will show that the best that we can, because I mean, years from now, my goal is that he'll look back and be like, I was wrong about that, and really you two were great for each other, and look where you guys are now. So
multi-billionaires.
Yep.
Do you think that they planned for that? Like, do you think her parents, when they first met you, they knew that you guys were going to end up getting married?
Nope.
At all?
Her mom explicitly said, "You will never marry David," to her a couple times.
What?
Yes. You knew that.
Did I?
For some
Yeah.
reason, I want to think like they do that like to. I don't know. Never mind.
No, it's not.
It's
It's not like
a
if
test.
you can. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
test of like if you can withstand this, then you're. It wasn't that. It's like they truly believe that no, you are not right for her, and you guys pursuing this is only gonna weaken both of your potentials in life.
Okay.
I'd say
And
bravo
so-
to you then, Dave, for like sticking with that.
Sticking
for so
it
long.
out for
that
5
takes
years.
a lot of.
Well, and hopefully, I mean, the hard part now is sticking it out for the rest of my life and really just proving that that's really what we can do, that we can
Your whole
kind
life's
of.
gonna be falling short.
And then 2 years down the road, they just get divorced.
Let's oh, dang it,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Don't say that.
We're not even married yet.
And I'd say a lot
No, it's
too.
good.
Like for me,
I appreciate you guys so much.
family, especially thinking about future parents-in-law, that is important to me. And I don't know if I was in your situation and basically just being completely rejected, that would absolutely crush me. And I honestly don't know if I could hold on like you did. And that just I look up to that a lot, and I really respect how hard you fought for this, and I think it's incredible. I mean, 5 years of hearing basically, no, you guys aren't going to get married. You're not good for her, kind of thing. that would absolutely crush me. I'd probably not pursue
Probably
that.
would have walked away a while.
Well,
But I think that's amazing.
I mean, I wouldn't have pursued it had I not realized how perfect Brianna is for me and how just wonderful of a person she is in so many facets and just in ways that, she's someone that was worth it to, work 5 years or 10 years or however long to have a relationship that will last forever. And so I like to think that had they not said yes now, then, I would hopefully be able to keep, I guess maybe not waiting as a right word, maybe, but just, I guess, preparing and kind of just, I guess, working through it. Because, I mean, really the testament is to her and she's worth it. And that's why I was able to do that. Because I don't have much willpower at all when it comes to a lot of things. And I'm kind of lazy. But this was the one thing in my entire life that has been so worth it, has been her and just how much she has meant to me. It was a struggle dealing with all this, but knowing that it was for her and just it made it very tolerable because I knew that it was for the best, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
I'm gay. That was my Marvel end to a touching conversation.
Well, we're all very happy for you.
We're all gay.
we're all gay for you, Dave.
We're all very excited to see what comes
You
of
guys,
this.
I'm probably gonna cry at your wedding. I don't.
I'm probably not going to cry, but I'm going to be really proud of you.
You're not invited.
All right.
If you can convince me that you'll cry, then I'll invite you.
Jesse's gonna be peeking through a fence hole, like, oh, I can see him.
Poke.
then he'll cry.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh, you know how bad that would hurt? Because literally every time
You can stop
blink,
recording at any point.
Well, when are you going to end us out?
Yeah, Mr.
you
Ghost.
gotta sign us out.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to close out now. This has been Jesse, Mick, Ben, Landon, and Dave. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.